We're talking the future of racing games, recap week 4 in the NFL, why the Atari box does not have us feeling nostalgic, and what are our guilty pleasures as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos. And just exactly what are our, see that RR, you can't do that RR. RR. And And what guilty pleasures are we having right now as we once again delve into the pop culture cosmos? There, how's it going? Make up for that. All right. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today. It's another great week we've got here today. A lot of great things happening in the world of entertainment. And who is here to help me break it all down, as he always is? It's the man, the myth, the legend. The man that is, I'll tell you what, he is the Emperor Supreme of Humanica Media. It's Josh Peterson. What's up, my friend?
Not much, man. Just doing some editing, taking care of business, keeping the wheels rolling.
Awesome. With all those projects in Humanica Media, and we'll cover it, and we'll cover exactly what those projects are later in the program, and a lot of great information how you can get all of our great shows. Indeed. So it's another great broadcast we have for you today. We've got director Rob McCallum of Nintendo Quest. He's standing by. We're going to chat a little bit about the Atari box, what we don't like about it, and what maybe things need to go on in that world of nostalgic realm. And we also have comedian Kevin Goatee. He is part of the show that's called the Comedians Watching Comedians. I'll tell you what, it's available on Amazon Prime. Plus, he's got some great podcasts on Apple Podcasts. We're going to talk to him about what his thoughts are on the movie scene. We're going to talk to him a little bit about what he is interested in going on in movies today. We're going to give him a little bit of a shout out later on. Plus, also as well, Tyler Baker is back to recap week 4 in the NFL. And I'll tell you what, we're going to go into our first subject here in a minute, but did you get a chance to see how the box office ended up this weekend with all 3 top movies in a virtual tie for first place?
No, I haven't, man. I've been away from my computer. What are the numbers?
Well, like I said, we won't know the actual final numbers until Monday, and definitely, and normally you just, there's some adjustments, minor adjustments, a couple million here, maybe a few 100,000 there, one way or the other, that will just basically give a little bit more information on how well a movie did. But it's more important than probably almost at any point in time in box office history, because 3 films all did right around $17 million this weekend in the domestic box office, with It, the new Tom Cruise movie, American Made, and also as well the Kingsman Golden Circle sequel, all doing right around 17 million. So I'm anxious to see exactly who did come out on top. Most reports have maybe It squeaking out barely, but we'll have to wait and see. You should have the final results posted on our Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook page when this airs on the Podcast Radio Network, and for downloads, it should become available at that point in time. We'll definitely have that up there as soon as it becomes available. So definitely a good sign for the box office, a very challenging week indeed, and there's some more great news coming up this weekend, but we'll preview that this Friday on the PCC Multiverse with a lot of great stuff indeed. I know I'm very...
Look, it's weird because, American Made, Kingsman, 2nd week out, It, 4th week out, American Made, 1st week out. American Made's at $17 million. So I don't think it's going to make much more money past that then. If it's at the top of the charts at 17 million and it's on its 1st week out.
Usually what it'll do as far as about maybe 40%, an opening weekend is usually about 30 to 40% of a total box office realm, correct?
Right. So that still doesn't look promising, though.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't indeed. And I tell, well, like we talked about on our last episode, it just shows the declining numbers and interest in Tom Cruise vehicles that are not Mission Impossible or some well-recognized platform, or even probably better promoted platform like the Edge of Tomorrow, and also as well maybe Oblivion. Both were $100 million plus movies that made money at the box office. So we'll have to wait and see what his career holds. I know obviously he had that injury shooting. He had that injury while filming the latest Mission Impossible, but I don't think that's going to slow him down very much. And I know that movie is eagerly anticipated for the 2018 slate. So we'll have to wait and see what the future for Tom Cruise holds as a box office draw. But it's definitely it's actually a little bit more than what most people and most pundits had predicted. The 17, they were looking at the 13 to 15 range. So you can technically say it outperformed expectations. But you're right, for that kind of vehicle, for that kind of star, for that kind of proposed budget, that's still not a great sign at this point in time in his career. But we got a great show. Like I said, we've got a lot of great things happening. Rob McCallum, Kevin Goatee, and Tyler Baker all coming up. But Josh, this is a great weekend. This is a great week for racing fans on the Xbox One, because Forza Motorsport 7 does get released, but not without its controversy, as far as a lot of microtransactions are coming along with it. I know a lot of people are very much up in arms about that. Another game that you're paying $59.99 for that wants to get more money out of you and suck more money out of you, just like recent additions in NBA 2K18, and also as well the upcoming Shadows of Mordor, Middle Earth Shadows of War. That's also had a lot of flack for proposing a microtransaction deal. But getting back into the game itself, what more is there to offer for simulation fans that enjoy the Forza Motorsport series that they can't get out of Project Cars 2 that just came out, and also as well Gran Turismo Sport, which is coming out in 2 weeks?
Well, okay, this is the thing. We're talking about Gran Turismo and Project Cars 2 right now as if they're actually competition for Forza. As far as I'm concerned, Forza is the dominant racing game on consoles. It has been ever since Forza 2 came out, and it will continue to be as long as it has a yearly entry. I mean, it's the same thing you say about Madden. Like, it's, what do they offer people that make them want to go back and buy it year after year? Yet people do go back, they buy it year after year after year. And like, I love Forza. Like, I can play it. It's a game I can sit there and I can play mindlessly, and it looks great, and the cars handle really well. You don't have to worry about back in the Gran Turismo 1 days where everything's spinning out and you have to do time trial and stuff like that and get licenses. In Forza, you just jump into the game and play it. There's nothing complicated about it. It's super simple. And we don't know, Gran Turismo could be fun. Yeah, maybe it'll knock Forza off its pedestal this year, but it takes them 5-6 years to come out with a Forza game, or not Forza, but a Gran Turismo game. So I honestly don't think that Forza has anything to worry about as far as competition from them goes. I don't think there's much else that can be offered new in this realm except for maybe like a VR entry. But it's just one of those games. Like, it doesn't have to keep improving because people still like to play it. It's just, it's a weird thing. I don't know why, but that's just how it is.
Well, the only reason why I say is because I think Project Cars 2, you're actually giving a little bit of shade to, because I think Project Cars 2 has performed strong critically. I think it is a very comparable game as far as the depth and as far as cars, number of tracks, and the whole experience itself. From what I'm seeing, what I'm talking, what I'm reviewing as far as going on with Project Cars 2, I think it's probably more than a formidable competitor to Forza Motorsport 7. Now, mind you, Forza right now is the top brand in racing right now for video gamers. So I will say right now that they're on top, but who knows, with the release of Forza 7, there could be some burnout. Sorry for me to say burnout, pun intended. And also as well, some fatigue when it comes to this franchise. Could that be correct?
Again, like I don't, maybe, but I don't think so, because it's a guaranteed yearly game, whereas Project Cars and Gran Turismo, they don't come out that often. So maybe they'll knock Forza down this year, but come next year, maybe, I don't, due to lack of other games to play, Forza will be back on top, is my prediction.
Well, there you go. And obviously, as someone who is a big Forza fan, it's hard for me to argue against that. But watch out, everyone. Project Cars 2 may be something that you're interested in if you're not into the Forza Motorsport series and you like the Forza Horizon series a little bit better, or vice versa. And then also as well, don't forget Gran Turismo Sport. If that, when that game comes out in 2 weeks on October the 17th, that's also something to be aware of. And let's see how that game actually does and how well it performs in comparison to the Forza experience. Josh and I got to see firsthand both Forza and also as well Gran Turismo Sport. We were very impressed by both, but definitely Forza should have the edge just because it's been out so frequently over the past few years. What are your thoughts on the Forza Motorsport series? Are you excited for this game to be coming out? Are you kind of leery because of the microtransactions that were announced? Are you excited to play something else besides Forza Motorsport series, like a Project Cars 2 or a Gran Turismo Sport? Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Humanica Media, and Game Source on Facebook and Twitter as well. Well, like I said, it's going to be a great show here today. We've got Rob McCallum lined up on deck and Kevin Goatee, comedian, right there after. Kevin Goatee right thereafter. So it's going to be a great program, but we got to start, as always, on the Pop Culture Cosmos with our good friend Chad and Hyperschmidt. This is about to win, and this is the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos. And we're back with the Pop Culture Cosmos to close out the program. This is Gerald Glassford from Pop Culture Cosmos and Game Source. We truly appreciate you being part of the broadcast here today. And if you get a chance, well, I'll tell you what, if for some reason you cannot catch us on the Podcast Radio Network, or Josh's programming on the Podcast Radio Network, Attack of the Humanicans, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, there's always a great way to get a hold of our shows, or the PCC Multiverse every Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. You can also download you can download the Pop Culture Cosmos shows on the, I lost it here. There you go. You can download the Pop Culture Cosmos shows at any point in time on the Pop Culture Cosmos channel, including Apple Podcasts, of course. You've also got the ACE Podcast Network, TuneIn, Overcast.fm, Player.fm, Google Play, Stitcher Radio, Podcast.com, Mixcloud, the ESO Network, the Tangibound Network, Gonna Geek Network, Cast Crunch, Social Podcasts, and popculturecosmos.wordpress.com. And remember, we always throw in bonus stuff for you at the end of the show for download, for those who download the podcast just for listening. And I wouldn't be a Pop Culture Cosmos without checking in with what's going on with Humanica Media. So Josh, you're the man, the myth, the legend behind Humanica Media. What is going on with all the great things at Humanica Media?
New Inside Sports this week. New Super BS coming this week. A new, that's it. I mean, besides the Tuesday show. And then this weekend we'll be recording another episode of What About This? So, I mean, stay tuned to sink your teeth into that.
Plus, also as well, you've got the Attack of the Humanicans show every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on the Podcast Radio Network. Check it out. Indeed, all of his great stuff, Humanican Media on YouTube, Podbean, and podcast.com, and also, of course, Apple Podcasts. So, Josh, got to close out the show. We haven't done this in a long time. It was one of our first few episodes that we did this. But what are some guilty pleasures, or actually just one guilty pleasure that you enjoy when it comes to pop culture currently right now that maybe not a lot of people would like, or maybe it's not getting that critical favoriting that maybe would have people shy away from it? Something that you like that maybe it's not the greatest thing that you're proud of.
Oh, geez, that's tough. Currently in pop culture, what is my guilty pleasure? Oh, geez. I'd have to say that I watch a lot of indie flicks that are about people falling in love with each other. Like not like your average like chick flick type movie, but it's like indie flicks like about artists and like relationships and stuff. I don't ever like tell people I watch those kind of movies, but you know, like I watched Dimitri Martin's movie. I forget what it's called, but it was about, you know, him being a book illustrator, and he meets this girl in L.A. and you know, it was good, but it's just like because you know I write stuff, so I just like to see how other people are doing it, and that's kind of, you know, I every once in a while I'll get caught up in the story, but yeah, I mean, that's as far as my guilty pleasures go. That's as bad as it gets for me right now.
Is that Dean?
Yeah, it's Dean. Yeah, that it's it was a. I'm not going to say that I liked it. I didn't really like it, but it had some clever things in it. So like I watch these movies because I like to see how these writers approach relationships in a way that haven't been done in like big budget, you know, romance films. So it kind of helps my mind a little bit, but you know, every once in a while I'll find a gem on there.
Go ahead, ask me.
Oh, hey, what is your guilty pleasure, Gerald?
Oh, gee, thanks for asking, Josh. I'll tell you what. I cannot believe I'm going to say this, and I cannot believe I'm going to be saying this out in public, but I'm kind of starting to maybe, possibly, could be getting into the Orville. Yeah.
No. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I know. I've seen all the episodes, and I actually am interested to see more. I can't even believe I'm saying this. This is definitely a guilty pleasure because the show itself, writing-wise, is not good. The show itself, on a satirical level, is not good. I can't explain to people why I like the show. You know, I'm looking at it from a critical standpoint. I probably would give it most of the episodes either 2 or 2.5 stars out of 5 on our star system, to give you an idea. But it's just I can't explain why I keep coming back week after week after week to watch the show. I'm intrigued by the character relationships, even though a lot of what they say is half-baked, corny, and contrived. But it's a guilty pleasure. I cannot explain why I like it. It's just, it's definitely not good. But you know, Seth MacFarlane might have a decent hit on his hands. It's done okay in the ratings. It's held up somewhat strong since it's premiered, you know, in a different time slot right after football. You obviously got that bump, but since then, it's actually been doing not too shabby on Thursday nights. Our friends at the TV Ratings Guide said right now it's a most likely renewal as of right now. So I don't know.
I have a question for you.
Believe me, I have a question for myself after I said that.
How much of, so you said it comes on right after football. How much of the viewership is just because either people haven't turned the channel yet, or because they're still buzzed or drunk from watching football with their buddies, so they just wanted to sit around and watch something.
Well, I'm sure it was very high when it came on in the first 2 weeks, because the first 2 weeks it did come right after football, and the ratings for it were pretty high. But when it got moved over to Thursday and to be placed right after Gotham, it actually outperforms Gotham as far as the number of viewers seeing it right now. So it's got a 1.1, which equates to almost 3 million in episodes. So that's, to me, that's actually, it's very good. It's not winning its time slot, but it's very close to doing so. So it's performing admirably. And I like I said, if you watch the show, I cannot blame you for not liking it. I cannot blame you for thinking it's trash. As far as Seth MacFarlane, this is like a Million Ways to Die in the West, I think is his film, probably comparison to it. But then again, I don't like and enjoy that film very much. So it's very hard to ascertain why this show is endearing itself to me and that I want to continue watching it week after week. And you know what? Our network, the Podcast Radio Network, has not only one, but two podcasts dedicated to it. And there is a following for it. And that's great to see. And it's nice to see sci-fi get some love, even though it's the show itself doesn't know whether it's a satire or a straight, serious, dramatical show. I know they said the word dramedy, but it's neither a good drama or neither a good drama or a good comedy. So I can't figure out which it is that it's really good at. So, but I keep watching and I keep coming back to it week after week. So that's my guilty pleasure as of right now. I'm sure over the next year.
Except everyone just listen to that.
There you go. Okay. Well, that's I know it's got to keep it a secret. Keep it on the down low, my friend. But what are you going to say? I'm sure I'll probably have more. I'm sure I have more guilty pleasures that I'll come up with by the end of the year that I'll be watching it. That people are scratching their heads. Why is this dude watching it? But what do you know? What do you know? Hey, I could be watching some indie flicks about some people that fall in love, but we won't go there.
I know, it could always be worse. What would be even worse if it was an indie flick about people falling in love on a spaceship that may or may not be a drama or a comedy.
Exactly, but they end up spending a majority of times on a back lot or on a hilly, garden, or a grassy or hilly area. So, what are you gonna know? Exactly. That's probably where they fall in love. But anyways, what are your thoughts? Actually, I'll tell you. What are your guilty pleasures out there when it comes to pop culture on TV, video games, films, what have you? You can share it with us. You can say keep it anonymous. You can ask us to keep it anonymous, and we'll be glad to do it. But we'd love to hear your thoughts and share them on the air, at least what they are. Share us your thoughts, popculturecosmos@yahoo.com. Also as well, Pop Culture Cosmos, Game Source, and Facebook on Twitter as well. Well, again, I want to thank Kevin Goatee, Rob McCallum, and also as well Tyler Baker for stopping by on today's program. Again, check us out on Fridays. We're going to preview Blade Runner 2049. Oh my gosh, the reviews are already started. They are amazing indeed. Yahoo and other outlets are calling it one of the greatest sci-fi flicks of all time. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. Oh my goodness. I know. Calm down, Gerald. I know Josh is telling me that right now, but we won't go there. But, I know you're excited to see it too, right?
Yeah, no, I'm excited. The headlines have been all over the internet this week. I guess critics got to see it early, and they're like calling it the perfect movie. So I don't like that kind of standard to expect in a movie, because I'm going to have super high expectations now, and I'm scared that it's not going to meet them.
I hear you on that, and that's always a scary thing to do, but they needed to get it out early. Obviously, they were very confident in what reviewers would say on it, so they could, you'll see it on the air quotes before the movie comes out. But it is 2 hours and 45 minutes long, everybody out there, so be prepared. You're in for a little bit longer of a movie, but definitely it sounds like it's been it sounds like it's definitely worth the wait. Any last thoughts before we head on out?
No, I actually I ordered the the final director's cut off Amazon like 3 weeks ago, and they still have not shipped it. So either they're incredibly backed up in the middle of or the beginning of October, or they don't treat customers very well that don't have Prime. So there's that.
There's that. Indeed, you should have asked me to do it. I would have ordered it for you.
I
But
got it.
exactly. Oh, well, I have Prime, but but I also have the DVD here. But I have one of the cuts. It's the final cut. That's one of the many cuts. And if you want to find out more, I will give props to Screen Rant. There is an article that they've been floating around for a while that explains all the different cuts. Technically, I believe they said there's seven or eight cuts. I think there's 5 official, that ones that float around, 7 or 8 cuts that are total that have been floated around as well. But there's probably, I think, 3 that people seem to focus on the most, and those are the ones that are most widely regarded as far as being the official cuts of the film. So definitely have to check that out. Indeed, that's Screen Rant. That's a great article. But check out all the great articles that are out there. We're going to be sharing as many as we can on the Pop Culture Cosmos Facebook site. So check it out, indeed, or catch us on Twitter as well. So for Josh Peterson, this is Gerald Glassford. It's another beautiful day in paradise here in the Pop Culture Cosmos. We thank you for listening. And here's hoping you have yourself a great day.